I'm Charlene, and I thought I would give you a few garden essentials, what I feel like that every gardener needs to maintain their garden. So first of all, of course you have to have a shovel, and I love this little one. It's just a little itty bitty shovel, so it's good if you've got a bigger tomato plant or something to plant. You can use that one. Okay, just let that fall. And then I use a pointed hoe like that. It's got a point on it for making my rows, and then you can plant the seed in. And then I forgot my rake, but you're going to want to cover up your trenches with a rake. I use this fork a lot just to kind of loosen up the soil a lot, and weed if the weeds are really small. So that's kind of a fun little 4-tine rake. And this is for my heavy weeding. This is a sickle hoe, and I love it because all sides are sharp, so you can push and you can pull. And I use this 99% of the time. So this is my favorite tool right here. If I'm planting seeds like cucumbers or squash or melon, I like a hoe that's big and flat so you can make a big hole, and then you can also cover it up and stomp it down just a little bit with a hoe like that. And at the end of the season, when you're digging potatoes, I like a potato fork. During the season, I basically go in and I rob the potatoes, and I don't dig the whole plant up until the end of the season. So this is a potato fork here. And then I have this old mailbox right here, and it's handy right here by the garden, and in it I keep some very good essentials. Number one are gloves. These happen to be the Wonder Grip, and if you don't have a pair of these, you should get them. They're just awesome. And for the guys, they make them in camo, so they're just awesome too. And then I have some 7 Dust, so if you see the little cabbage loopers or something like that on some of your plants, then you can just dust it. And it's handy because it's right here. And of course I have a trowel and a couple of trowels, just different kinds. And I have a hand fork. I actually use this a lot when I'm finding my potatoes underneath the plants, because you can feel the potatoes and then you can reach down and you can grab them. So I use this a lot too. And then a pair of scissors. If you're cutting off your okra, you're going to need a pair of clippers like that. Or I have these kind of clippers. These are handy dandy little ones. And then I have a knife. Probably not very clean, but if you're cutting your lettuce off, I have one of those. And then I keep a bag of fertilizer, and I like Gardener Special. This is from last year. What I like about the mailbox is all of this stuff just goes right back in there, and it's protected from the weather. Then I have a nozzle here so you can wash off your things. This is a handy dandy little garden trug. I had one last year and I needed to replace it. And so now this one is a colander, so it's got holes in it right here. So if you're bringing your potatoes or anything, you can hose it off and it can drain right there. So this is something I keep by the back door. Every time I come to the garden, I grab one of these, and certainly it's usually filled by the time I get back to the house. And you can hose it off if you have a little sprayer. And then also when I've planted everything, you can use Treflan granulars. This is what it is, but I like the little shaker ones because it has the holes in the top, and it's easy, and I can just keep it here in my mailbox, but I use this to fill this one. So they're pretty easy. But Treflan is a pre-emergent herbicide that you can put right over the top of many of your vegetables and flowers right after you have planted them. So your tomatoes, your peppers, your eggplant, and some things you can plant, like your radishes and your beans. You can plant the seed and put this right over the top, and it won't prevent those kinds from coming up. So that's pretty handy. And then I always keep some tomato and pepper set, so if it is a really hot summer and I don't feel like my tomatoes and my peppers are setting on, then I can spray them with this. Sometimes I have a little bit of an insecticide in it, so if you see the little white cabbage, they're white moths, but they are the adult to the little cabbage loopers that will eat holes in all of your broccoli and cabbage and your cole crops and that kind of items. So these are handy to have around here too. So I just put all of this in my mailbox. And there we go. It's all ready for the season.